Okay, for the next video, I will discuss the OSI or the Open System Interconnection Model. For the OSI, it is a conceptual model that characterizes and standardizes the communication function of a telecommunication or computing system without regard to its underlying internal structure and technology. Its goal is the interoperability of diverse communication systems with standard communication protocols. Then the model partitions a communication system into abstraction layers. Then the original version of the model had 7 layers. A layer serves the layer above it and is served by the layer below it. For example, a layer that provides error-free communication across a network provides the path needed by applications above it, while it calls the next lower layer to send and receive packets that constitute the contents of that path. Two instances of the same layer are visualized as connected by a horizontal connection in that layer. The model is a product of the Open System Interconnection Project at the International Organization for Standardization or the ISO. For the history of OSI, prior to the inception of the OSI project, networking was largely either government-sponsored or vendor-developed with proprietary standards such as the system network architecture of the SNA of IBM and DECnet of Digital Equipment Corporation. An experimental packet switch system in the UK circa 1973 also identified the need for defining higher-level protocols. The NCC UK publication, Wide Distributed Computing, which came from considerable research into future configurations for computer systems, resulted in the UK presenting the case for an international standards committee to cover this area at the ISO meeting in Sydney in March 1977. So in the late 1970s, the International Organization of Standardization, or the ISO, conducted a program to develop general standards and methods of networking. A similar process evolved at the International Telegraph and Telephone Consultative Committee, or the CCIT, from French. So both bodies developed documents that define similar networking models. The OSI model was first defined in raw form in Washington, D.C. in February 1978 by Hubert Zimmermann of France, and the refined standard was published by an ISO in 1984. In 1983, these two documents were merged to form a standard called the Basic Reference Model for Open System Interconnection. Then the standard is usually referred to a Open System Interconnection Reference Model, OSI Reference Model, or simply OSI Model. It was published in 1984 by both the ISO as standard ISO 7498 and the renamed CCIT, now called the Telecommunication Standardization Sector of the International Telecommunication Union, or the ITUT, as Standard X.200. So OSI had two major components: an abstract model of networking called the Basic Reference Model, or the 7-layer model, and a set of specific protocols. The OSI reference model was a major advance in the teaching of network concepts, and it promoted the idea of a consistent model of protocol layers, defining interoperability between network devices and software. The concept of 7-layer model was provided by the work of Charles Bachman at Honeywell Information System. Various aspects of OSI design evolved from experiences with the ARPANET, NPLNet, IN Cyclades network and the work in IFIP WG6. The new design was documented in ISO 7498 and its various addenda. In this model, a network system was divided into layers with each layer. One or more entities implement its functionalities. Each entity interacted directly only with the layer immediately beneath it and provided facilities for use by the layer above it. The OSI standard documents are able from the ITU-T as the X.200 series of recommendation. Then some of the protocol specifications were also available as part of the ITU-TX series. Then the equivalent ISO and IEC standards for the OSI model were available from ISO, not all free of charge. And then OSI, hence an industry effort attempting to get industry participants to agree on common network standards to provide multi-vendor interoperability. It was common for large networks to support multiple network protocol suites with many devices unable to interoperate with other devices because of a lack of common protocols. However, while OSI developed its networking standards, TCP/IP came into widespread use on multi-vendor networks for internetworking. Now we're done discussing the OSI or the Open System Interconnection Model